Hello, this is Brad, and I am with Mid-Continent Public Library. Welcome to our Scanning App series, where we look at free mobile apps that can be used to scan documents using a smartphone. You don't need a copier or a scanner, just the smartphone that you likely have nearby you, or you might even be using it to watch this video. This can be super handy when you need a digital version of a physical document. Maybe you had to sign a document, but now you need a digital version to email to someone, or to text, or to upload online somewhere. In most cases, taking a scan with a smartphone is as simple as taking a picture. All the apps we are going to look at in our series are free, and today we are going to look at the Notes app that is available exclusively on Apple devices like iPhones and iPads. You will not find this app on any other device. The good news is that if you have an iPhone or an iPad, this is one of the preloaded apps that comes on the device, and so you won't even have to download a new app in order to utilize this. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the Apple Notes app. Here we see this iPad, and we should see the Notes app right here. It is a white and yellow icon with lines running horizontally. If for some reason you didn't have the app, you could always go to your Apple App Store, which is this blue icon, and type in Notes, and you can re-download that app again. So even if for some reason you don't have this app on your iPhone or iPad, you can get it from the Apple App Store. Okay, let's go ahead and open up the Notes app. And the first thing we are going to need to do is locate this icon. This is the new Note icon. Now, depending on the type of the device you are using and the version of Apple software you are using, this could be any number of places. So go ahead and locate that first and select to open a new note. Once you have a new note open, you should see this camera icon. That is what we are going to use to scan using this app. So go ahead and select that camera icon right here. And then we will need to select the middle option, which is Scan Documents. And tapping this is actually going to open up our camera. And so if you have not used the Notes app before, it is going to ask you if it can access your camera. If you want to scan, you will need to select OK right here. And then once it opens up, we will need to position the camera over our document. I know mine is sideways. That actually doesn't matter. We can rotate it later on. The most important thing is that you get a nice clear shot of your page so that the text on it is legible. In all likelihood, if you were doing this on your phone, you would probably hold your phone in portrait orientation, and the page would also be in portrait orientation. Right now, I have this auto setting. That is going to look for a page to scan, and then once it locates a page, it will automatically take a scan of it. You may prefer to use the manual method, which means you have a little bit more control over when the photo is taken. To do that, I select Manual from here. And now, in order to take a scan, I will need to select the Photo button right here. And so once I get my document nice and lined up, I select the Camera button and I take a scan. And if I like how this looks, I would select Keep a Scan. But maybe I'm not quite happy with how this turned out, and so I want to retake the photo. I select Retake over here, and I can try again. So let's try to get another photo. And I like how this one turned out a little bit better, so I am going to select Keep Scan. And now I can scan any additional pages. This is a 2-page document that I have, so I actually need to flip over this page and take a scan of this next page as well. So once I get that in position and lined up, I'm going to tap the white camera button right here, and I will have my second page. And I can crop my scan. I can see I got a little bit of the desk in there. I can tap and drag the corners of my document to make sure that I just see the white page and none of the desk. And then once I have that where I want it, I can select Keep Scan. If I had any more pages to scan, I could keep doing so. But if I was done, like I am in this instance, I would select Save over here in the right-hand corner. The little 2 lets me know that I have 2 pages scanned. And then this is my scanned document. If I wait a moment, it will likely automatically name the document for me. So we can see here, it just changed that to Scanning Apps Sample Document. It pulled that title off of there. And if I don't like this title, that's okay. I can rename it later on. In order to edit and then send this scan, I need to tap right here. And here is my open scan. I do have some ways to edit this. We saw this earlier, but if I select up here, I can crop the edges of my page to make sure that I only have white space and I'm not picking up any of the surface that I scanned my document on. When I'm happy with that, I can select Done. My page is not the right direction, so I can rotate it using this button. Once more should get it to where I want it. Perfect. All right, there we see my document. The crop is looking good. The edges are looking good. Tapping this right here allows me to see different filters. If I select grayscale, it'll make everything on my page black and white. If I select black and white, it has a different kind of effect on it. And photo is the last option. It is just the actual photo that I took. If you look real closely on the color, you can tell that my pen is blue. If I didn't want that to be apparent, I would select the grayscale or the black and white. So here is my page. I've got it looking good. However, none of the changes that I've made to this first page have been applied to the second page. So if I want to modify the second page, I need to swipe over, and then I will need to do all of those same changes here. So let's start out by rotating this so that it matches the first page. I would, of course, want to crop it to make sure that I have gotten rid of all the spots of my page where the desk is apparent. And then I would make sure to select the same filter. That would be that grayscale that I used on the first page. Okay, now my document is looking nice and consistent. If I want to rename it, I can tap up here, and I can enter any name I want to. It does a pretty good job of pulling those automatic names, but it is not perfect. I would save that once I have the new name here. Okay, and then I am ready to send this document. In order to do that, I'm going to select this share icon in the top right corner, and then I will see my options to share it. Maybe I want to text this to someone. I would select the messages option here. I could enter their phone number, and it is going to send this scanned document as a PDF. Other options that I have, if I select the share button again, would be to send it through email. Selecting this would automatically add my scanned document as an attached file, and I could send that to whoever needs to have it. There are other options too. If I want to save this to my device, I could go to Share and then Save to Files. And I could save it to my iPad. So I have lots of different options for how to send or save this scanned document. Over in the left-hand corner, if I need to add more pages to this document, I can. I obviously don't, so I'm going to select Cancel. And then if I decided that I needed to reorder the pages of my document, right here I could tap and hold the second page and slide it in front of the first, and that would reorder my page. Now that shorter document without my signature is page 1, and the longer one with my signature is now page 2. So if I had a long document with multiple pages, I don't really need to worry about the order in which I take them because I can change that here. Here is my document. If I decide I want to delete my document, there is a trash can icon in the bottom right corner of my page. I can select that and delete my scan. Let's go ahead and select Done. And so here is my scanned document. It stays within this note, and I can add text to this note if I want to. And this is just adding text to the note. It is not adding this text to my scanned document. However, depending on how I share this text may appear. Storing your scans within notes might not be the best idea because it's actually very easy to delete it. If I kept backspacing this text, I could easily backspace my scan and delete it, and I could not very easily retrieve it. So once you do a scan, it's probably a good idea to save it or share it somewhere else. If I tap share from this screen, I'm actually sending the note and not just my scan. So if I select that text option again, it's going to send the scan, but it's also going to insert that text from my note. The same thing would happen if I sent it via email as well. I also wanted to show you what happens if you use some of these other options under the camera icon. If I select take photo or video instead of scan documents, it is going to open my camera and it is going to look very similar to what we did earlier. But if I take this picture and then I would select use photo, we can tell right away that our options are not the same for a scan. And we can tell that I did not scan this document, I just took a picture of it. And if I tap on it, I don't get any of those editing features that I saw earlier. So if you want to scan, you really want to make sure to select that second option for scanning documents. And if I select that third option under the camera icon, choose photo or video, this is just going to bring up the photos or videos that I've already taken. And so that's not quite the same as scanning either. One more thing I wanted to show you. If I go ahead and open up the Scan Documents option again, I do have an option right here to take my photo in one of those color options. So I could take the photo in color, grayscale, black and white, or photo. But as we saw, that isn't really necessary because I can just adjust this once I've taken the photo. I did want you to see that if I leave the automatic on long enough, it will take a photo for me. It just is a matter of preference whether you want to manually press the button yourself or have the auto take it. And so that is how we can use the Apple Notes app to scan a document, edit it, and then send it. This is an app that is available exclusively on Apple devices like iPhones and iPads. But if you have one of those devices, this is a great option because you will not need to download an app. It is pre-installed, ready to go. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to follow our MCPL 360 Facebook page. We premiere new videos every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. And if you miss the premiere on Facebook, you can watch all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our MCPL Mo YouTube channel. This has been Brad. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day.